Thank you, Lord, for this privilege to be alive again. Let the follow this gospel.
Amen.
Lord, as we go into your word, Lord, we ask that you speak to the heart.
Amen. Thank you so much for that. So, we want to welcome everybody to this meeting. This is the first in the series in several of these that we are going to have. And already we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I am seeing that some of us we are appearing already. I think I'm seeing 3 people on Taiwo's platform. I'm seeing 2. So I can say that we're about 10 already online. So we know that others will join us as we move on. So I would like to have my wife and the convener and the coordinator of this platform to introduce and at the same time receive our special guest this evening in person of Mr. Micheal Apata. But for the sake of this platform, because it's a teenage platform, I think we'll prefer to refer to him as Uncle Micheal or Uncle Mike. So indulge me to use Uncle Mike instead of Mr. Mike. Thank you. Over to you.
Okay, so quick one. We're welcoming Uncle Micheal to this platform. He's a friend of the house because he's been part of Teens Acting since we started Teens Acting in 2016.
Yeah.
But we're having him here today as for the first time. He's going to be speaking with us. So I'm going to, not to waste time, I'm going to drop quickly on Teens Act platform now. I'm going to drop his biography. Well, we've seen his picture already, a little bit of his biography, and I'm going to read it out to you so you can also read along. So Micheal Apata is an academic entrepreneur, possibility thinker, and a lover of God. Born May 17, 1994, he had his primary and secondary school education in Ibadan before going to Ekiti State for his higher education, where he studied economics and development studies at Federal University of Ekiti and graduated with a first-class degree in 2016. All of you that are telling me that first class is not possible, you are hearing now. He graduated with a first-class degree in 2016. He recently completed his master's program in 2019 at the University of Manitoba, Canada, and he looks forward to starting his PhD this year. The truth is that he has gotten admission for his PhD, so he's starting his PhD this year. He has his own business and also working for a company in Canada. Micheal got married to Oluwatomilola Apata in 2018, and their union is currently blessed with a baby girl, Micheal Apata. So can somebody clap as we welcome our wonderful uncle to this platform, Uncle Micheal. So we'll unmute him now to talk to you all. Can hear you. Uncle Micheal, are you there?
Uncle Micheal, you're live.
Okay, yeah. I was trying to unmute myself, but it's saying that the administrator has to do that. Good evening, everyone. It's nice to be in your midst this evening, this wonderful evening. It's currently sunny here in Canada. I'm currently in Canada, and it's currently 1:10 p.m. So I would want to show my face so that you won't just be seeing it as an abstract. Here I am. Okay.
Yeah.
So I trust we're all doing well. I trust we are doing good, and Thank you so much, Wura. Thank you so much, Mr. Pledua. In our midst this afternoon, I'm sure it's evening there. Straight up, most of the conversation today will be in form of questions and answer. But just before we go there, I have something I want to share with the whole team. Just a minute. So I would say that we should all try to put our questions in the chat box so that once we are done with this, we can move straight into that. If you have any question as regards teenage life, any question that's been bothering you, I want you to know that I'm someone you can actually speak with. So feel free to drop your questions in the chat box and we'll take it up from there. But just before that, in 10, 15, 20 minutes, I'll just be sharing with us. I've prepared something little for us and I'll just be sharing that with us. I didn't just come to be like this. You might be saying, oh, it looks, actually I'll be 26, May 17. So, but this was how I actually looked as a teenager. Yeah, you can see that. The far left picture was taken in 2008. That's around 12 years ago. The one before that was taken, you can see that Ronaldinho shirt. I think that shirt was making waves in the market then, and I just had to get myself one. Yeah, so this is actually how I looked as a teenager, and we actually thank God for growth. Yeah, we thank God for that. Before I go right into the life lessons that my teenage years has actually taught me, I want to quickly have a prelude on what my life has actually been before I was a teenager, and I'll be dividing that for the ages between when I was born up to when I was 12 years. And I actually divided those lifetime into three. I have 0 to 4 years. I have when I was 5 to 9 years. And I have, of course, the immediate before being a teenager, which is 10 to 12. So for the 0 to 4 years, I would say that was, I really didn't know much. Of course, I was given birth to, and like I said earlier, that was in 1994. And shortly after I was given birth, I lost my mom. I was given birth to May. I think I lost my mom in June. So the opportunity most of us have of taking breast milk, I did not have that same opportunity. I would call that period the separation period because I had to leave my dad. You know, I'm the youngest of 5 siblings. My parent actually gave birth, my mom actually gave birth to 5 children, and I'm the youngest. I would call that period separation because care needed to be given to me, attention needed to be given to me, and my dad being the busy one, looking out for the remaining 4 kids, which are actually my siblings, he was not there at that point. So I had to stay with my dad's elder sister. And there, you know, in Ibadan, I'm not sure if we all know much about Ibadan, but Ibadan, the food that goes best is amala. You know, you take amala in the morning, you take amala in the afternoon, you take amala in the evening. So we take that, and but something happened. My dad came and saw that I was not in a good frame of mind. So he actually came and took me, and that's what led me to my 5 to 9 years. And I would say that that is actually when I went back as a reunion back to my nuclear family. I had much time with my immediate family, my siblings, as well as my dad. And between the ages of 10 and 12, I would say that is when things started changing. Because after 9 years that my mom died, my dad had to remarry. And so I actually had a stepmom, and that was when between my 10 to 12 years. So that's just a little bit of a background, just to let you know that everything is not as rosy. It didn't start being rosy as we all think it is now. So I've actually had my own fair of life as well. So I'll be sharing 7 lessons that I've learned as a teenager. And the first one is actually contentment. Now, when you say contentment, I mean that you should be satisfied with whatever you have. The Bible says God godliness and contentment is great gain. And I actually have a scenario where I held my early teenage years. I usually do something and I want to be sincere with you as possible. So there is this time when I was young, anytime I'm sent to purchase something, I'll always look for crooked means to always take something behind. Now, I'm going to share something with us, a short story. There was this particular time that I'll be sent to buy bean cake. I don't know, moi moi. I don't know the English word for that. I think bean podu or something. Yeah, we all know moi moi, right? Yeah. So let me just stick to that. Moi moi. So the woman that actually sells this particular food, she knows my family, and my dad would let's say he will say I should buy the moi moi is 10 naira, and he will say okay, buy 10, which is actually 100 naira. But I've noticed the first time I was sent, the woman added one piece of moi moi. The second time I was sent, she also added another piece of moi moi. So I was thinking like, it's like this woman likes us, and every point in time she usually adds an extra. So I said, okay, let me be kind of smart. So instead of buying 100 naira moi moi, guess what I did? You guessed right? I will buy 90 naira worth of moi moi, and as usual, this woman will put one. So I was always seeing that the 10 naira extra go home. Of course, it's you take it to the family. No one will want to ask that. Didn't she add? Because of they didn't happen. As usual, I bought my 90 naira moi moi, kept the 10 naira in my pocket, and I did not focus my attention on when the woman was putting the moi moi inside the nylon bag. And as usual, I collected the bag, went home, and when we were sharing, we noticed that there were actually 9 moi moi inside the bag. My head started spinning, which means that this woman did not add the extra she usually do. So I was like, what is going to happen? My dad was very angry. Probably has also been suspecting some foul play, that maybe this guy is actually hiding something. So he actually took me there. We went there, and when we got there, my dad told the woman that I sent my boy to buy 100 naira moi moi, but it's not complete, so it's remaining one. And the woman, honestly, truthfully said, no, he didn't buy 100 naira moi moi, he bought 90 naira. And my dad asked, okay, don't be annoyed, can I receive my fair share of punishment? And since then, I've always come to realize that no matter how little you have, we should always be contented with what we have. And that is actually one thing I put on high esteem up to today. And the second thing I've come to realize, even as a teenager, that it has taught me is giving. Now, giving necessarily does not mean in monetary aspect. No. If we are secluding giving to mean just money, then that means we are not taking it as a whole. When we talk about giving, it involves sharing your knowledge with others. It involves sharing your spiritual life with others. It involves praying for others, and of course, it also involves giving in monetary terms. Now, there is one example I would love to share. A lot of people would say, oh, how is it possible you get a first class? How is it possible you had a first class when you were in school, looking at all the stress you went through and all? And honestly, aside God, because God is the number one factor, of course, one thing that really helped me was that I was not hoarding any information. Are you with me? I was not hoarding any information. Because I've come to realize that the more you know, the more you give out to people, the more you receive. Now, it even came to a point in my life where there was a subject I would not understand, but I will say, okay, can we set up tutorials? As long as I'm able to teach others, I know that the inspiration will come and I will know better. So, and that is one of the preconception I had before I was a teenager, because then we usually fight for first position, second position, but we notice that even in life is more than just books. Life is more than position. And what we can do, even to help our immediate environment, is to give whatever we have. It doesn't necessarily mean it to be money. It can be what you know. So I want to challenge you guys out there today. If there is something you are finding challenging, okay, let's start from the academic life. If there is something you are finding challenging, if there is a course you are finding challenging, make it a point of duty to teach someone a little of what you know in that particular subject. And I want to assure you, if you can do that, you will notice that more inspiration will come as regards how you can tackle the situation even more effectively and efficiently. So the second point, like I said, is giving, and it involves giving in all ramification: your academics, money, spiritual life, and what have you. Just make sure you don't hoard, because another thing is for you to get fresh water, the water needs to flow. But if the water is stagnant, it starts breeding all kind of parasites, and that's why the water is no longer pure. Now, the third lesson I learned as a teenager is faith, and this has to do with our spiritual life. With God, everything is possible. With God, all things are possible. So if there is anything you are facing, God always comes through, and that's just the real fact. He comes through. And I know you must have heard this saying that the spiritual actually controls the physical. That's actually true. Make sure you pray to God. Make sure you increase yourself in your knowledge of God. Now, the fourth one is actually time management. Time management. Mr. Akweja knows a little about me. He knows much about me, sorry. Even before I went to school, even before I went to Federal University of Ekiti, we've been friends. And one thing has actually made us stood out, and it is how we manage our time. One thing you should know, that evil controls your time, actually controls your destiny. So if you spend all of your time doing a particular thing, you will notice that in the future, time management is very paramount. Now, when I was in school, I was living on around 3,000 naira a month. Now, I don't know if you are familiar with it. If I know most of us are in secondary school, some of us are in the highest institution, but then 3,000 naira just for you to take care of yourself in a month is like you just need to do a lot of things to make sure you are afloat, because it's necessarily not enough. It's not sufficient for you. Even if you look at, sometimes we had to walk from my hostel to school just to make sure that the 3,000 is okay for a meal, because my school is actually I was staying off campus, so I had to trek from my house to school. But then I noticed something, that what if I'm able to generate money myself? And I started something. There was this shoemaker back home in Ibadan that was very good. So I just raised a little capital. I spoke with my elder brother. He borrowed me a little cash, and he gave it to me. And this was what I was doing. I went to Ibadan. Of course, whenever I went to see my parents, I'll buy like 4 palm slippers, go back to school, sell. And I noticed that it was very cheap compared to what the amount they were selling it in Ekiti. But then everything had to do with time, because I also needed to study. Of course, you first class won't just jump from heaven and give you also have to do your own part in the hard work too. So the way you actually spend your time will tell you who you are. The way you spend your time tells you who you are. So why am I saying this? I will go to Ibadan, buy palm slippers, sell it in school, managing my time effectively such that it won't affect my academics. Are we together? Okay, great. So Time management is actually key. We need to learn that. We need to make sure that it's on top of our schedule. We are on top of our schedule, and we need to prioritize everything at a particular point in time. So another thing I will share with us is dealing with opportunities. Dealing with opportunities. Of course, opportunities used to come. They don't come gold is prepared. It doesn't come in a raw form. If you see the raw form of gold, you will notice that, oh, what's this? It just looks kind of dirty, but it has to undergo fire. So if you are seeing an opportunity, it doesn't mean that the opportunity is well blown. You actually need to refine the opportunity. And that is one of the mistakes I made even as a teenager, because each opportunity I had, I was always jumping into it. Of course, if I had my teenage years taken back, I would do some things differently. So we need to actually deal with opportunities the way they come. Don't just jump into each opportunities when they come. Make sure you are able to discern. Make sure you know something about it. Now, when I was in my secondary school, I had this Game Boy. I don't know if any of us know it. It's just like PSP of nowadays. Now, I noticed that anytime I take it to school, people were always begging me that, oh, Micheal, please let me play. But I'll be like, I'm buying battery. But all of a sudden, an idea just came into me. What if during break time, I tell people that, oh, you can come and play your Game Boy and just give me 5 naira. Of course, I'll buy, there are some running costs. Battery is there. Battery is the only running cost because I have the game already. So what did I do? I started telling people, and when I even with the business writing, we want to play game. Even I'm having demand was not much, and time lastly fitting was around maybe 50 minutes. So I actually add my price, and even with the increase in price, people were still coming. Aside that, the shoe business was also an opportunity. Why? Because I thought about it. Another business I actually did opportunity. I need to inform you that I lived in my own hostel when I was in the university in my final year. Where did I get this money? The money was from the proceeds from this business. Maybe you didn't get that. I lived in my own hostel. I built to let you know what an opportunity can cost you. An opportunity can take you from 0 and you just find yourself in 100 in a matter of time. And don't forget, an opportunity can also take you from 2 to 0. So that is why you actually need to discern when dealing with opportunities. Make sure you don't just jump into opportunities. Oh, it's crypto that is ruling now. Let's go and buy crypto. Oh, it is Bitcoin that they are selling now. Let's go and buy Bitcoin. No, always weigh the pros and cons, such that even if these things eventually fails out, will I still be standing, or I will have spent all my savings? Dealing with opportunities. Another thing that actually helped me, and is one of the lessons I learned, are the types of friendship I kept. Making friends. There is this idea that says, show me your friend and I'll tell you where you'll be in 10 years. There are 2 things that influences a man: the books he reads and the friends he keeps. And we need to know that faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. We can actually apply it in this part too. The friends you listen to will actually build your faith. They will build your system. They will build your future. Which means that you are not just here you are not just here for being here sake. You need to build that empire you've always dreamed of, but you cannot do it alone. If you want to go fast, you can go alone. But if you are determined to go far in life, you need to go together, which means that you need to work in groups. And that groups can be found in friends, in the types of friends you keep. This is a point in our lives where friends can either make or mouse. This is a point in our lives where any decision we make now has an impact in our future. So we need to know that we can't just be friends with anybody. Of course, be with peace with all men, but make sure that you are not friends with everyone. When I mean make peace with all men, anyone that comes, of course, you are not in trouble. Make sure that everyone is at peace. But then when it comes to people you call your friend, make sure that they are people with like mindset as you. That is another reason. That is part of the things that actually helped me when I was a teenager as well. Mr. Tapojo was a very good friend of mine, and you can see it. You can see he has a beautiful family, and I also have a beautiful family. So the type of friends you have will determine where your life will be spent, where your life will be. And the final one I want to share before we actually go into the question and answer section. I hope we all have our questions ready. Please make sure you put it down so that once it's time, we can start answering those questions. Is that the place of a mentor cannot just be left idle. If you want to go to a place very fast, your best bet is actually to take someone that's plowed that same route before. Now, the place of a mentor is very crucial in one's life. I have the mentor. I have the mentor in my financial life. I have the mentor in my spiritual life. I have the mentor in my academic life. People I look up to. Now, mentors are actually different from, how do I put it now? I can't find the right word now. But mentors are people that you should know personally. They are people you should be able to speak with. They are people that if you have any issues, you'll be able to talk to them. Mentors are like coach. Of course, you know your coach should also know you. Mentors should be people that have gone ahead of you in a particular place that you feel you are going. And that is why not everyone can be fit to be your mentor. Why? Because let's say, for example, I want to make a mentor and I made a musician my mentor. If I don't want to stay in the line of music, why will I make a musician my mentor? Of course, I'm not going in the same direction as which the person is going. And that is why we must carefully choose our mentor. Why? Because you know all these people, experience is very important. And they've gone ahead of you to make sure that they've gone ahead of you. All the places you are going through now, they've once been there. And that is why you can actually not put their place in just the garbage. Their place is very important in our lives. So anything you want to do now, anywhere you want to go, just look for someone you have a relationship with. Okay, the person you might actually be older than the person, but as long as the person has more experience than you, speak to the person with a humble heart and say, oh, I actually want to accomplish this. I want to do this type of a thing, and I don't know if you'll be able to walk me through. I don't know if you'll be able to coach me in making sure that this dream comes to reality. And I want you to know also that before you can get the prize, you must actually pay the price. You won't just, all those fantasy we used to have that, oh, I should just go and see $1 million or 1 million naira on the floor. It does not happen in the real world. You won't see money on the floor. You won't just go to heaven. There is work that needs to be done for you to get the prize. And when I say prize, P-R-I-Z-E, you must pay the price, which is P-R-I-C-E. So this is just the little thing I have to share. The lessons I learned, I can just go over them once again. The first one is contentment. Make sure you are contented with whatever you have. The second one is giving, which is not just about money, but everything in your totality. The third one is faith, which is the place of God. The fourth one is time management. Of course, how you manage your time determines what you eventually get in the future. Dealing with opportunities, don't just jump into all opportunities, but make sure that you weigh the pros and cons before jumping into it. Don't do something because a lot of people are doing it. Because it is working for a lot of people does not mean it will work for you. Making friends, make sure that the friends you have would have an impact on your destiny. And the place of the mentor as well, which cannot be overemphasized. So at this point, I draw a curtain to the teaching, and I would be waiting for your questions. Thank you.
Profound. This is just so profound. Thank you so much, Uncle Mike. Indulge us to call you Uncle Mike because we have young people. Fine, we have matured guys too, but majority of us are young. But I would like to say that the teaching is far beyond. Is mind blowing. Let me put it that way. Thank you so very much for coming out to be vulnerable with us. Letting us know your background, letting us know even some of the dark side of it. So thank you so much. I believe that we have learned a whole lot. We have a few minutes to go, but there's something that we are noticing. The software we are using, the Zoom app, allows for 40 minutes, and this is an announcement for everybody. Now, but in about 1 minute 30 seconds, this meeting may get disconnected. It may, and the reason I said may is because there's this program they are doing currently. Zoom is doing this as a result of the COVID-19. So they are extending meetings. That is for those that have accounts with them. They can extend the meeting beyond the 40 minutes. So, but in case if it's disconnected now, please, we would create another meeting link and drop it on the group immediately so that we don't miss time. But we are less than 1 minute to that happening. So let's be on guard and let us go into the questions. We are not dropping our questions yet on the group. Okay, we have one. The first question says, what can someone go? How far can someone go in giving, depending on what someone has?
How far can you go in giving? So I think this person is looking at giving in terms of what he has. So there's this adage that says you cannot give what you don't have.
Yeah.
So how do I get to that level of having to be able to give, or what should give me confidence that I even have something to give?
Yeah.
So I can feel like I don't
cannot give what we do not have, and if you eventually end up giving people, you might be thinking that, oh, I have little. It's not in the abundance of what you give, but it is how you actually give what you give, and that actually boils down to your motive,
intention. Yeah.
So thank you so much for that, sir. Your intention. So you might be saying that why am I giving this person? I don't even know much. You are giving the person so that you can know more. It's not in the abundance of what you have, but in your intention. So I'll actually that's what I'll say for now.
Thank you so much, sir. I hope that helps the person that asked the question, and I hope that answers it for you. If you have other questions, please drop them. All right, we have another one.
So the other question is, my question is on not hoarding knowledge. At times, when you try to share what you know with people, they tend to see you as being proud. How do you handle that? And on your part, you just want to help and gain more as you share.
Yeah.
Should I come again?
Yes, please come again.
His question is on not holding knowledge, like keeping knowledge.
Okay.
At times, he said that at times when he tries to share with people, they tend to see him as being proud. So he's asking the question, how does he handle that on his own part, so that he can as well share and still gain knowledge, and is not still seen as being proud because he's trying to share knowledge.
Okay, yeah, I understand. Okay, so his own intention is pure, but the perception of his own intention is what is not pure, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I'll say is, there are a lot of people you can actually share information with, and the information you are sharing should start from your friend before it goes to the larger cycle. Now, if you just go to someone you really do talk to and say, oh, this is what I know, of course, it's possible they have a different perception of your own intention. Yeah. But if you are talking to your friend that you've been living all together, you do things together, and you just say, Ore, this is what I just noticed in this situation. Is this something we can talk about? Of course, they will not see it as a threat, but as a way of moving forward. So I feel, to answer that question, start from your inner cycle first, before actually going out to, teach whatever you have, or give whatever you have.
Okay, I don't want to steal into Uncle Michael's time, but I think I have to also pinpoint that part, because you are the part of you being like people seeing you as being proud. Then you have to check yourself, in the sense that why. Okay, so Uncle Michael has helped you to answer that you should start from your own circle, which are your friends. So how do your friends perceive you? What do your friends see? What have they been saying? Maybe your friends talk to you, you don't even want to listen. Yeah. You only want to hear. You only want them to hear what you're saying. You understand? You don't also want to listen to them. That kind of person will not gain people's trust to want them to listen. So you have to be able to, for people to be able to gain your trust, to listen to you, also have to be able to listen to them. So it's very important, and that is when you can actually share and help people, when you listen rather than being the one to speak all the time. With that, God gives you the wisdom to know what to say. So the third question is, that being said, the third question is, in terms of dealing with opportunities that comes around us. So this person is talking about, in terms of, it's from Tosin actually, in terms of dealing with opportunity that comes around us, how can we cope if we are not financially stable and there is no means at that point in time? What is the possible solution? So this person is, I'm seeing this person is saying, I'm seeing an opportunity, but they are saying that I have to use money to start, or I need money to buy into this opportunity, and there's no means. So how do you cope? So you've shared with us that you've come from a place of nothing to something. So in your other level, you were someone that maybe you were squatting in a small hostel you paid for, and at the end of 400 level, you were living in your own hostel that you built. And I know some people are hearing now because they are already in 200 level, 300 level, and I don't think you will be able to build an I pray for you, but I don't think you are thinking like that. I don't know the level of thinking that you have. So you are like, on top how much salary that my dad is giving me every month, 10K per month. How do I think of building an hostel? What exactly can I do? That's the question, sir.
Okay, thank you so much for that. You wanted to say something, sir?
Yes, I know you. I wanted to say something before you come in. It just dropped on my mind that I should say this. Mr. Apata, at least we've known each other now. It should be getting close to more than 10 years. I mean, up to 10 years now. So, and if there's one thing that I feel makes this thing a bit different and makes him a bit different from every other person, is because I think for us, we were able to, and which is what I would say about this, a lot of time we are looking out to investing in big opportunities. But sir, do you remember that time that Mr. Jegede is in Canada now as well with his family, told us that we should go and promote a security and alarm padlock. And
Padlock.
yes, have you been admitted then? I'm not sure. I think that
No.
you were
It
about
was during the transition between secondary school to university.
university. So
Yeah.
that was the time that myself and him, we didn't have money. Now the guy told us that we should come and join a business with, I think, 16,000. That was in 20, I can't remember, I think 27 or so. That we should come and join an opportunity with
Maybe 2011.
2011, yeah. So we didn't have the money. We want to do business. And we're like, sir, help us. So what the guy told us was, okay, I don't have money to support you guys to start this business, but I bought the pack. Go and sell it. Now, if I tell any of you guys to come and sell this product, I'm so sure you will say, which kind of this you want to use me.
Not sure you guys were selling padlock.
We were selling padlock. The
Sorry, special padlock because it had alarm.
what makes it special is just when you open the padlock and and then you put it in the door of your house. If anybody gets there and touch the door or touch the key, it will blow siren. That's what makes it different. And we're selling 3,500, and our profit on one, I think, was 500 or 800 naira then. So, and we're selling, and it's so interesting that we sold we actually were promoting it all around all the states in Ekiti then. And I remember that we're going office to office. I mean, each offices. Network went off. So, and we're going office to office, different places we're going. And I remember one day we went to the governor's office to promote that product. And we didn't know that we have gotten to the governor's, I think we were inside the secretary to the governor. So the governor's office is the second office, like inside this office like this. The second room is the governor. Fayemi was the governor then. So when the siren of that alarm padlock blew like this, the woman said, no, the governor is inside the office. And we're like, So the CSO to the governor called us that we should come and promote it, that we should come and do slide so that the state government can buy. We're actually praying that will be a breakthrough for us, but eventually they didn't do anything. But we were able to sell. I'm so sure we made over 30,000 from doing that business. The business of low capital. And we were able to raise money to now do all that things. So what I want to bring out of it is there are little efforts that count. You take them one step at a time. And as you evolve, you also have money to do other business. I needed to share our experience because I know you may not talk about it. That's why I had to put that in. But please just go ahead and answer the question from your perspective.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that. Is actually something to reminisce over and bring back to memory. Yeah, that time there was no money really, and we had the intention to do business. What could we do? No money. Okay, I've actually done this. We actually saw someone that was able to help. Take this product, go and sell. But I'm putting it to the same person that asked that question. If you were in our shoes as at then, you don't need to answer me, but be sincere to yourself. Would you take that padlock and go and sell? Now, your answer will now define if what you are is money or opportunity. Talking about opportunity, not all opportunity requires you putting down money. Most businesses require you to put money, but some do not require you to put. You can say, okay, I want to volunteer myself to work at this particular place. And of course, if you are working at a place, even without you getting paid, there will be a time that the owner of the office or owner of the place you work will just say, oh, where's your house? Take this 500 naira for bike. Take this and this. But are you willing to do that? And another thing I want to something that is in the form of a lottery. Things that are not certain, at least there are some businesses that slippers. At least I know that even if I don't sell the slippers, I still have the slippers. And in one way or those times in ICSU, when we will be sleeping in the office, is not office, we'll be sleeping in the shop.
Yes.
Because I think office is more than shop. We'll be sleeping in shop
and on the
to
floor.
make photocopies of past questions. Exactly. So everyone has their own experience. It's not just that an error from somewhere. We actually started from somewhere, and that is why if you actually work hard for your money, it will be difficult for your money to leave you. I don't know if you understand that. If you are just someone that just probably by luck made it, the rate at which that money will go, the rate at which you spend that money will be different from someone that worked himself up to make that same amount of money. So now it's not just about the money now, it's about your own how do I put it now, your own mindset about the opportunity. And if you are starting an opportunity, always make sure that you start with the one with lower risk. Of course, the profits might be minimal, but it will save you in the long run. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Profound.
Okay, so there's another question here. And in terms of time management, how can we deal with multiple business at a time and alongside with academics without having distractions from any of the business? So he's saying in terms of time management you spoke on, how can you deal with multiple business at a time and alongside with academics without having distractions from any of the business?
I won't lie to you. There is no way there won't be distraction. You can only minimize it. Now, one thing I would like to chip in at this point is even if you have multiple businesses, focus on one now. Now, when you've grown an empire in one, then you can now be thinking of diversification. Now, you can look at, Dangote is making sugar, is making flour. He didn't just start his business and started producing all those things together at the same time. He started one, grew an empire before actually going to find others. And if you notice, he's not even the one heading all of them. There are some that he actually delegated. So you might have businesses, but I would advise there is no way to not impact you. There is no way to not affect you. There is no way to not distract you. But prioritizing things at this point is very time management. Of course, you can create a timetable. I remember then in school, I noticed that my business was more of speaking to people. It's my shoe business, I mean. So what I do was after class, I still go out to visit my friends. I bought this palm. And once they know that the price is actually lower than the amount they will sit in Adwekiti because we were in Oye, they'll be more interested. So there is no way to not affect. But what stood out for me was that when I finish selling, I go back to my house. I had 3 places to go. I had school, I had fellowship, and my house. So it is only in the event of coming from school to my house that I branch people's house to see if they'll be willing to buy slippers. But let's say, for example, I have 3 businesses now. That means after school, I'll be thinking of 3 businesses. It might eventually not work out. So just try to choose an area of youth problem, grown an empire to hire someone. So with that, at least you know that small things are off your head and you'll be able to do other things and concentrate on your studies.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. I don't know if I think we've exhausted all our questions, and I think why we don't have so many questions is because we have some of our teenagers joining us late. So, but I will try.
Okay, someone just dropped.
I want to.
Okay.
Okay.
This person says, as a teenager, How can you deal with inferiority complex among your colleagues in school as
Inferiority
a
complex.
teenager? How can you deal with inferiority complex among your colleagues in school?
Okay, I'm going to start. You wanted to say something, ma'am?
Okay, so this I'm surprised that this teenager is asking this message, but I think it was because it was not part of our identity series last month. Because if he had an idea of what we did in talked about identity, but I'm trying to know where I'm trying to look at the angle he's coming from when he means the inferiority complex. Because before we answer it, I don't know if we can ask him inferiority complex. Okay, Tosin, are you online? Can you speak? We will unmute you now. Inferiority complex in what terms? Like, is it about? I'm not getting, because I really want to know. Is here? See,
Okay.
Tosin is here. I want to know what you really mean. Maybe you should speak and ask. Yeah,
All right.
you
Tosin,
can ask.
can you talk now? You're live.
I prefer typing my question.
Okay, so you will answer me, Abi. You will retype.
Yes, I'll retype.
I want you to be more explicit when you mean inferiority complex.
In what perspective?
Okay, I mean, I'm no more a teenager. I'm only
Yes,
asking
I
this
know
question
that.
because of the teenagers in the group.
Oh,
And my question goes those. Some people, they are not that good academically in school,
okay.
and they will be inferior to move closer to their mates
Okay.
in order to learn from them.
Okay.
So how can they cope with that kind of? How can they cope in that kind of courage?
Okay.
And then be bold to move close to their mates and learn what they want to learn. That's my question. Actually, it's for the teenagers. It's not for me because I'm no more a teenager. I just asking on behalf of them.
How old are you? How old are you? Anyways, so I think maybe what it means is more of okay, because when we say self-inferiority complex, maybe I don't want to disturb Mr. Apata about that, so that we'll just move forward. I don't expect that we still have teenagers here that are dealing with inferiority complex. If you read the book Identity, right? Now, if you didn't read the book, you can still pick up the book and read for your own good. Now, inferiority complex, who are you comparing yourself with exactly? If you have an idea of who you are, the person you are, who God has called you to be, and you don't have to have any, who are you comparing yourself with? Is it the big boys in class that scatter the class, or the big girls that show themselves? I really don't know who you're comparing yourself with. But if you have your place in Christ and you definitely know who you are in Christ, you are well affirmed of who you are. So at this stage, I really don't know what should make you to be having. I know that you have, but deal with it. So if it's older people now, I can say maybe they're having because people have money more than them because of this age that we have. But no, as a teenager, you have got all the world, you have got everything that God has for you. So you shouldn't be struggling with inferiority complex. If you think you have that issue, go and pick up that group identity. I'll post it on the page again. Next question.
All right. I think that answers it for Mr. Tosin. And if you want more clarification, you can still drop it on the group. We have 15 minutes time. Someone said, "Sir, I read a book, and it was talking about using your mind rather than working hard to get money. What does that mean?"
Okay. There are two different types of people.
Okay, I think he's trying to put clarification. He said, the writer said it is better for your money to work for you rather than working hard for your money. And he was specific about investing.
Okay, I want to put it to that same person. Before you invest, where will you get the money? That's the first thing we actually need to clarify. Now, if you have this, I sit 24 at the I have my own personal property. Those are actually investments. But do you think it is 100,000 naira investment? No. So there are two kinds of people: the people that work hard and the people that work smart. Now, smart is better, but before you can work smart, there is a bit of hard work that needs to go in place. One problem with investments is actually your startup capital. Now, I can't just wake up, for example, and say, oh, I want to build an oil dam. No, I can't, because it is capital intensive. I can't just say, oh, I want to build another cocoa house in Ekiti State. There is a little bit of even much hard work that you need to put in place. And if you are looking for shortcuts, there are shortcuts, but most times the shortcuts are deadly trap. And that is why I said there are some opportunities you plug into that catapult you from 0 to 100, and there are some that you just say, oh, people are making money from it now. When MMM came, of course people were making money. I have 10,000. My parents just sent me 10,000. They said that after 30 days you collect 20,000. Oh, you collected the 20,000, you were happy. Instead of you to work out peacefully, you say, if I double this money to be 40,000, you doubled it, you got 40,000. You were happy. Instead of you to work out peacefully, you still say, 80,000 is in the view. Let me put 80,000. You put 40,000, and then the whole thing collapsed. That is why you jump from 10 to 40 to 0. Anyone that is already down cannot fall. But if you are up, you must actually be careful. Thank you.
Okay. So lastly, I hope this is the last question.
It should be the last, because we have limited time.
So lastly, this person is asking this question, and I love it. How can we deal with having a mentor that's far from us? I mean, maybe by age or by distance, I don't know too far. And he or she is always busy. Is it advisable to choose? Is it allowed to choose another one closer to you, or remain with the person? So the person. Okay.
As regards mentorship, I would say you should know your mentor, and your mentor should know you. You should know your mentor, and your mentor should know you. So if you feel now, I wouldn't know how the person feels. If the person is saying that I'm far from my mentor, is it that you are the one that is not always reaching out, that you expect your mentor to always be reaching out to you to ask you? You must be vulnerable to your mentor, such that they know that, oh, they are actually guiding you on this path of life. Like I said, I have a mentor spiritually, I have a mentor financially, and anytime I call them. And another thing I also need to let you know is that, is it every time you're always in trouble that you reach out to them? Or there are just sometimes you just reach out to them to say, oh, I just wanted to hear your voice, I just wanted to greet you. Now, if this mentor of yours does not recognize you as a mentee, you might need to clarify your relationship. And like I said, it is someone that has gone ahead of you, that has been in the path you are actually going through. That's the person that is advisable to be your mentor, so that in case there is any trouble, in case there is any obstacle in the road, you'll be able to reach out to them, and they'll tell you the way they did it during their own time. So you are the one that has the decision in your hand. I won't tell you to change your mentor, but just one thing you should clarify: does your mentor, the person you refer to as mentor, does the person refer to you as their own mentee? And that should clarify the whole question.
Thank you so much, Mr. Uncle Michael. We love you so much. And I just want to,
thank you.
Yes, I just two things just came to my mind with the mentorship thing. Just like you said, you have a mentor. We talked about this since that 2019. Know that the like if you think you have a mentor, you are thinking your head. Does your mentor know that you are their mentor? You've not had a conversation to actually know that this person is maybe the person is just even just like checking up, but the person does not necessarily mean that they are your mentor. You've not had any conversation with the person or an argument that I'm mentoring you. So the person feels that okay, the person doesn't even know that they are mentoring you, and you that you are the mentee. I mean, you are not even putting yourself in a position to be mentored. You have to check both ways. So you both of you have an understanding that you have a mentor-mentee relationship is important. And secondly, you have to be available in the sense that your mentor will always be busy. You can't always bug them because they have their lives to live too, and they're also mentees to someone. So you have to understand that. So as much as it's important that you have a mentor, somebody that you go to and they have an understanding that they have to mentor you through life, in prayer and in all ways that they can, they will only try their best. Your life is in your hands. I'm sorry that I'm bringing it this way. In quick one, your life is in your hands in the sense that you have to be responsible for making sure that whatever you need to get from your mentor, you get it. Even when they are not paying attention to you, you get their attention. Secondly, if you don't have a mentor, so to say, you have the privilege of friendship. Good friends go longer than mentor, I believe. Mentors are very important. They are far, maybe you feel they are far away. But if you have the right friends, this is Uncle Mike here, this Uncle Shegun here, they've been friends since God knows when. Your friendship, they say that how far you go, like birds of the same feather flock together, and how far you go in life depends on the kind of friends that you flock with. And some of you are saying maybe you're together friends. What kind of friends? How do you deal with each other as friends? Do you have a covering of friendship? So friendship is not just somebody that I see, I chat with when I'm down. No, friendship is covenant, so to say. Go and read about Jonathan and David. So if you are having some friends and you are not getting value from that, you might have to check that relationship. That are you people having God-given goals together? Are you reaching those goals? I have friends that when I was in school, if I wanted to sleep at night and I wasn't going to read, she would come to my bed and say, "Màá domi sí ẹ lórí, torí ẹ pé ṣáṣọ máa dúró owó school tí àwọn òbí ẹ̀ sanwó dẹ̀ fẹ́ sùn." And she will abuse me. I mean, serious abuse. And by the time she goes to her bed, like I will think twice and I'll stand up and carry my book. We're still friends till today. And to top it off, both of us came out with the first class. So there is no jinx about it. So you can get your goals together. People that you have God-given goals together, you pray together, you ask. I've talked to some of us about it before. It's very important. Don't side jinx it. Then don't see yourself short. With this inferiority complex, we are coming to it again. Aside inferiority concept, there are other things that you are fighting within yourself. Can I really? Don't see yourself short. Don't sell yourself short. There's a lot that God has put inside of you, and He needs you to come out of it. Stop the excuses. Stop the excuses. There are a lot of things in life that makes you feel comfortable, and you can give yourself the excuses. I wish I knew better as a teenager. I wish I could get a grab of myself and hold myself and had gone all out as a teenager to do some things I wanted to do. Stop the excuses. Enough of daddy, mommy excuses. I'm not asking you to rebel, but stop using daddy and mommy to do excuses. People that don't have Uncle Micheal shared his experience with us. For some of us that were not here, he did not even know his mom. He lost his mom 1 month after they gave birth to him. So he didn't even enjoy breastfeeding. So those of you that are still holding on to breast, cut it off. I'm serious. Cut it off and get your life together. Another thing that you might not hear again that Uncle Micheal said, he started on 100 level with nothing. In 400 level, he was living in his hostel. Far for it, though, he's not old. He told us his age. He was born 1994. He's 26 years old. He has a daughter. He has a child. And before he left, he was already living in the hostel that he built. He did not steal. Some of you are in 400 level. And I mean, I'm just telling you these things and I'm pinpointing it to you. You know I'm aggressive like that. Get your life together. Your life is in your hands. When your parents see that you're taking these opportunities and you're getting better at it, they will no doubt trust you. Right? Okay. Uncle Mike, I want you to there's no other question. I don't think anybody dropped any other question on you. So I want you to say some lasting words to us, and so that because we have 5 minutes to go. As we Uncle Mike, are you there? Okay.
Okay. Thank you once again for the time and privilege to. The last thing I'll just. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. So one thing I will just share with us as a closing story. I know some of us might be familiar with it. There were two people. They went to a soothsayer. A soothsayer is someone that knows the future. And the soothsayer told one, you'll be a king. The soothsayer told the other, you'll be a beggar. Now, the one that was informed that he was going to be a king went ahead and did nothing. Oh, they already told me I'm going to be a king. The one that was told will be a beggar went home, cried, and stood up and said, no, I would not be a beggar. I'm going to work my way through this. Fast forward to 20 years later, with hard work and determination, the person that was prophesied to be a beggar was the one as a king, and the person that was living a lackadaisical lifestyle was the one that became a beggar. So what am I trying to say? Your destiny is in your hand, and whatever you want from life, you need to be bold enough to actually collect it. So with this, I want to thank you once again, and I appreciate the time and opportunity you've given unto me to share one or two things with you. Thank you so much, and don't forget your destiny is in your hand, and whatever you want to make out of life, have the goal, write it down, make sure it's specific, make sure you're able to itemize it, make sure it's measurable, make sure it's attainable, make sure it's realistic, and make sure you set a time to it. And may God help us in Jesus' name. Amen.
Guys, let's give Uncle Mike a big hand. If you are on video, share with us. Kenepa, Taiwo, all of you. Everybody, let's do a round of applause for Mike. Big thanks for this opportunity. I'm sure we've all learned something, and it's interesting in a way, at least you're able to connect to him directly rather than having it on WhatsApp and all that. So we'll do more of this, and I want us to invite our friends, invite our family, invite friends. Please let us bring
Hey, I can see you.
And let's make it happen. Thank you so much for attending, for participating. I believe we have learned one thing, right? So we'll end the meeting for today. Conversation continue on all platforms, and this kind of meeting will hold again by the end of the month. So look out for it and invite your friends. Thank you so much for coming. We love you.
And also make sure that once you drop, we finish this Zoom platform, for people that are unable to attend, I knew this was going to happen being soon. It's important that we move with our age. So we are stuck with a particular pattern, and we can upgrade to other levels and benefit. We know we are used to WhatsApp platform to do meetings, but the truth is that Zoom can be more engaging. I will hope that we have more platforms that will be more engaging with time. So I knew that people will be limited by it. So make sure that you drop what you have learned on the group. For everybody here, I kept attendance of everybody that was here. Make sure that you drop something that you learned on the group tonight for people that were unable to attend. And also state ways that we can improve. Is it that the timing is not good, or is it that you might need we might need to do more awareness to make sure that everybody is here, or what do you think we can do to be better? It's very important that you give that feedback on the group. So we'll keep chatting on the group, and at the end of this, I want Victor Olafemi, please, you will drop a prayer on the group for Uncle Michael. He's still there before he leaves, so please just type in the prayer on the group for him so that we'll pray for him. As you know, he has blessed us, and I hope that you're blessed as well. So he has shared with you, and I know some of you might be like, I want to talk to Uncle Mike, I want to get to know more of him. Like I'm saying that I know some of you are like, maybe he can mentor me. I don't know about that. You might have to write to things at if you want him to mentor you, then we'll get to reach him before we can connect you, because he's a busy person, very busy. So you have to be deliberate that you want him to learn and you're ready to learn. So
all right, thank you. Have a great time. We love you all.
And have a wonderful night. Bye bye.